I don't need to say much about this next guy because he'll tell us himself. His name is Danny Bent. Danny, welcome to the stage. You have got an amazing story. Take us way back to when you were a kid and some advice your dad gave you.
So thanks for having me, starters. When I was about 7 years old, just started school, I'm dyslexic, I was getting red pen all over my books, telling me what I shouldn't be doing. I'm probably a little bit weird as well. And I would get home from school and I'd be saying to my dad, like, I would be complaining about some of the other kids or how the teachers are treating me. And he was like, Dan, don't worry about anyone else. Just worry about yourself. Be yourself. And I think if he'd known how many sleepless nights he was going to have because of that statement, he probably wouldn't have made it. But he did, and things kind of trend from there, yeah.
And that's been your mantra ever since, hasn't it? Tell me about some of the amazing projects that you've taken on and conquered yourself across the globe.
I mean, I started with a bike ride to India. When I was 11 years old, I said to my mum, my dream was I wanted to cycle around the world and raise money for charity. 20 years on from then, I told her that's exactly what I was doing. I was riding on my bicycle called Shirley to India. Yeah, lovely. And that when you do something so strange and so kind of out there, out the box, you end up having these like crazy, amazing adventures. And every day something weird happens. Every 3 days something completely mind-blowing happens, whether that's being held at gunpoint, put in a prison in Pakistan, waking up with maggots in your beard, or just being shown like the most beautiful hospitality by every single race across the UK. It's like Muslims are the most amazing at kind of inviting you into their homes and all this sort of stuff. It's really, really great.
And you've turned your adventures into 2 books, haven't you? Tell me about those.
Yep. So I'm dyslexic. As this dyslexic kid, even still inside me now, saying like you can't be an author. So I very rarely tell people that I'm an author. But so when I got back from India, I'd been writing these blogs about all these amazing stories, and people were saying that, Dan, your writing is really beautiful. Maybe it's got a few spelling mistakes in it, and then. Somehow a publishing company got hold of it, and they said, we want you to write this book. And I wrote the book, and it's now a bestseller and award-winning. It's like this crazy little dyslexic boy inside me that's kind of giving a right old fist pump to my
But that's the
teacher.
inspiration, isn't it? It just means that anybody can do it.
That is exactly
You've constantly
it.
put yourself down because of what your background was. Your dad bigged you up and gave you that advice, which you've taken on board. You've got through got over all the rocky roads you've been on, literally and metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
You pogoed across Togo. Tell us about that.
That was basically, I don't really know where it came from. Someone told me that it rhymed, and then a few months later we were pogoing across Togo. And that's it's a very skinny country in West Africa. And I just made a video about that to kind of show the world a different side to kind of the more Nigerian side stories that you hear of. And I was absolutely treated like an absolute king out there as well. And bouncing along on a pogo breaks down barriers very, very fast, and people all want to know your story.
Who is this strange man with the ginger beard pogoing across our country?
That is exactly it. Yeah. But it's not. I think the biggest thing in me is like I've been given. My parents had not a lot of money, but they gave me so much love, and I feel inside me, how can you have been given so much love without giving anything back? And that's taken me on different journeys. That like. When the Boston Marathon bombings happened, all my family are runners. It felt like an attack on my own family, like my community. And we set up, within 7 weeks, we were setting off on a running relay from LA to Boston, split it into 10-mile segments, put it out on Facebook, asked people to sign up. And before you know it, you've got thousands and thousands of people. We thought we needed 300 to raise like 20 grand or something, but we had thousands and thousands sign up, and we raised like well over $500,000 for the people affected by the bombings. And that just came from a small idea and a kind of trying to do good to the world. So,
and of course, the world we live in now, you're able to publicise what you're doing on social media, and that's where it spreads.
Yeah, totally. If you'd come to my talk, you'd see that I do say put your phone down now and again, but. Having said that, Facebook has enabled so much for me. It enabled, the publishing company came through Facebook, and the relay across America spread because of Facebook. And so there's a time and a place for all that stuff, but you don't want to kind of let it consume your life. You've got to live that life at the same time, and hopefully I'm doing that in a kind of good manner.
What's next?
what's next? So the overarching big aim right now is to take that relay across America, 3,000 miles, and turn it into an 18,000-mile relay around the world. Like with whatever your political persuasion is with Brexit and Trump, the world is slowly kind of being split, and people are taking sides, and I just don't want that to happen. And if we can do a relay that kind of brings those people together, we can have an Israeli pass into a Palestinian, because that baton passing is the connection between humans, and you realize oh, you're running with this baton, I'm running with this baton, we're doing the same thing really. And I think that's a really good kind of way to look at life, business, whatever. We're all the same, and we're all trying out for the same gains. So.
And was that the ethos of the talk you gave today? Was that the message you wanted to get across to people?
Yeah, I mean, a lot more of what I talk about is just about pure happiness inside yourself, and that being really, really stripping everything away, stripping the pressures from parents, friends, colleagues, social media, social norms, stripping that down and becoming the real core version of you, which is what my dad did really, and the happiness that brings with you. But obviously it's a journey, and there's little steps you can take along the way. So my talk is about 5 steps that I take regularly to make sure that I stay in tip-top shape with a smile on my face and a good vibe in my heart.
I must just ask you as well, because there's another rhyme coming up, isn't it? Tell me about that.
Oh, yes, true, yeah. So the overarching thing is this world relay, but I'm always up for small adventures. And I've started skating. My girlfriend skates, and so she's got me into it, and we go out. But I'm never really kind of happy to just stick with that complete norm. So as soon as I started liking skating, my mind was like, well, we've done Pogo Togo. What about skate? And I was trying to think of a country that rhymes. Skate Kuwait. So we're heading out to Kuwait to skate across the desert, and it's amazing. As soon as you start kind of putting this idea out there, all these people are getting in contact and wanting to support you. And my barber's from Iraq, and he's saying, you've got to go in and see my family. So we'll see where that journey takes us.
Fantastic. Tell us where people can learn more about that if they want to, more about what else you're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, on all the socials, I'm at Danny Bent. And so, on my website, dannybent.com. It's all on there. Get involved. Because, I do lots and lots of things for community as well. Being on communities and all those things like communities, you start to feel part of something. Your vibe is shared by others. And so there's so much on there that you can get involved in.
Fantastic to talk to you. It has been truly inspirational, and it's lovely to sit next to me, so positive and so happy, and doing so much great stuff, particularly in the political climate we're in at the moment. Best of luck with it. You can find out, as we just heard from Danny's website, about all that he's doing. If you want to follow us, it's #AWEurope.